Lab program 8. Find minimum cost spanning tree of a given connected undirected graph using Kruskal's algorithm. Use union find algorithms in the program. Basically, this program is to implement the Kruskal's algorithm. In the ninth program, we have seen the implementation of the Prim's algorithm. The same thing follows here also, wherein we need to find the minimum cost spanning tree. So use the union find algorithms in the program. So if you look at the Kruskal's algorithm, uh, in the Kruskal's algorithm, what we do is we go on considering an edge, and adding an edge to a set is acyclic. Then we add that edge. Okay. Therefore, we need a logic to find whether adding an edge to a set of edges forms a cycle. If it forms a cycle, we should not consider. Otherwise, we can add it. And that is how we have solved for the Kruskal's example. So we have sorted the list of edges and we went on considering each of the edge in the increasing order. And if at all it does not form any cycle, then we add it to the minimum cost, minimum spanning tree. Okay. So the main logic here is to find whether adding a new edge to the set of edges forms a cycle. So for that, best algorithms are what are called as the union find algorithms. With the union find algorithms, what happens is, let us consider a graph like this: 0, edge to 1. There are three nodes: 0, 1, 2. There is an edge from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and 0 to 2. So this union find algorithm is called as the disjoint set. Okay, the disjoint set data structure. The union find algorithm makes use of what is called as the disjoint set data structure, wherein we will understand how this disjoint set methodology works with the following graph. So now what we have to do is, for each of the edge we have to make the subsets using both vertices of the edge. Okay. And if both the vertices are in the same subset, what do you mean by that? It is there is a cycle that is formed. Okay, so we will understand that. So consider a graph 0, 1, 2. There are three vertices and the three edges. So initially, let us consider an array called as a parent, and for the vertex 0, vertex 1, vertex 2, initially all are initialized to -1, -1, -1. Okay, next. Now let us process each of the edges one by one. Therefore, first consider the edge 0 to 1. So when you consider the edge 0 to 1, so we have the subsets 0 and 1. When we consider the edge 0 and 1, we have the vertices 0 and 1, right? And now you can see that 0 and 1, so this is for the first iteration that we are considering, and they are in the different subsets. Therefore, what we have to take is, we have to take the union of them. Once you take the union of them, the set that is formed is 0, 1. So this is the representative subset. Okay. And now what we have to make is, when you consider the edge 0 to 1, make the parent of 0 as 1 or parent of 1 as 0. Either way, either way you can do it. So here what we have done is, the parent for 0 is 1. Parent for the vertex 0 is 1. When I process the edge 0, 1, I make the parent of 0 as 1, so that the array parent, I will update it to 1 from -1, and the subset, representative subset, is 0, 1. Next, we shall consider the one more edge 1, 2. So in this edge 1 and 2 are in different subsets. Okay. So now what we will make is, a parent of 1 as 2. The 2 is marked as the parent of 1. and the representative subset is now, so already 0 1 was there, now 2 got added. Okay, when you consider the edge 1 2, 1 was in the subset 0 1 and 2 was in another subset, and when you take the union of them, it is 0 1 2 is the representative subset, right? Next, consider the last as 0 2. So now 0 is in the representative subset here, 2 is also in this subset, representative subset. Therefore, we should not consider this edge. Why? Because it forms a cycle. It forms a cycle. And one more way is like, the parent of 0 is 1 and parent of 1 is, yeah, 2, right? So you can see 1 is the parent of 0 and 2 is the parent of 1, and including this edge forms a cycle, right? So like this, we have to take the union of the vertices in each iteration, and we have to find whether it forms a cycle like this. I mean, whether this new vertex that we are considering, it is present in the representative subset. If that is the case, then we should not include that edge. Okay, so like this, the union find algorithm works. So union find algorithm, there is a parent array that is considered, in which all the values are initialized to -1. I mean, in case of our Java implementation, we initialize it to 0. Okay, we'll look at that. So this is for an example, I'm taking. Then as and when you process an edge, add the vertices to the representative subset. Okay, and if the vertices that you are considering, if both are present in the same representative subset, then don't include that edge, because including that edge forms a cycle. Okay, so that is how the union find algorithms works. Now we shall look at the Kruskal's algorithm. So once again, there is a 2 by 2 matrix cost to hold the weighted matrix, I mean the adjacency matrix representation of a given graph. Next, ij min cost. Next, enter the number of nodes, enter the cost matrix, and call the Kruskal's method. N, min, cost, and cost are passed. So now, yeah, this is the main logic, Kruskal's. So before exactly looking or going for understanding of the Kruskal's method, the thing is manually solve an example. After manually solving an example, then understand how the union find algorithm works with some representative example, and then come for understanding the Kruskal's method, so that it is very easy to understand the main logic that is present in the Kruskal's algorithm. Okay, so here, so as we said, since it makes use of the union find algorithms, so we have an array called as parent. Okay, when I initialize, when I declare like this parent new int, so all the values are initialized to the 0 in the array, Next, ne indicates the number of edges. Ne indicates the number of edges. So initially it is initialized to 1. Okay, so as you can see the algorithm n, so while e counter less than number of vertices -1. Why it is -1? Why? Because if you have some n number of vertices, then how many edges we will have in the minimum spanning tree? It is n minus 1. It is quite obvious. So ne less than n. That is why ne less than n. Right. So min is equal to 99. For int I equals 1 to n, for j I equals 1 to n, if cost of ij less than minimum, minimum is equal to the cost. So what exactly we are doing here? So let us consider an example graph. So this graph, and the adjacency matrix representation for this graph is like this. The adjacency matrix representation for the graph is like this. Okay, yeah, so So for in every iteration of these both the for loops, right, the cost ij is checked. So initially a to a, you can see 1 to 1, the vertex from 1 to 1, what is the cost? 0. So 0 less than 99, because minimum is initialized to 99, right? 0 less than 99, yes. So that min value is updated, and uv are updated like this. Okay. And you know in every iteration of each of the both the inside and for loops, inside and inner and outer for loops, what happens is we consider the minimum edge. We consider the minimum edge. So how we consider the minimum edge in the sorted list of edges? In the sorted list of edges, how did we consider the minimum edge? So here also we consider the minimum edge. Okay. And since for a to a, b to b, I mean from a vertex to itself we need to avoid, right? So that is what we can see here. If u not equal to v, if u not equal to v, then only we have to consider that edge, otherwise just leave it. Next, make cost of ab to cost of pa to 99. So what does it mean? So this means that once you have processed this, so a to a, so you should not do it. Therefore, for the next iteration, make it as 99, so that in the program logic, in the program logic, this value will not be considered. This value will not be considered, isn't it? Okay. Next. Now for the next iteration, okay, so any is still as it is. Once again we go for the while loop. Once again min is equal to 99, and once again I starts from 1 and j starts from again 1. So like this, for so what we do is we find the minimum cost edge. We find the minimum cost edge. Okay. So as the algorithm scans, as the algorithm scans each and every, so 3, next 99, 99, 6, 5, 0, 1, 1, 99, 99, 4, so like this, you can see which is the minimum cost edge. It is 1. It is 1, isn't it? There is one more one here, but already the min value, but already min value is updated to 1, so that you can see the logic. If the cost is less than min, I mean 1 less than 1, condition fails, so we consider only this edge. So now for the second iteration of the while loop, what happens is this edge is considered, edge from second vertex to the third vertex, bc. You can see bci, is it there? Yes, you can see the tree edges BC solved, BC that we are considering in this iteration. So the same thing is happening here also. Okay, 1. And now what happens in the logic? While parent of u greater than 0, u is equal to parent of u. So this logic is basically to understand, I mean to get whether the parents of u and v are equal. I mean whether they are in the same representative subset. How we have solved here. We have seen an example here, right? So if that happens to be the same, this condition fails. U not equal to v condition fails. Okay. So initially all the values are initialized to 0 in the parent array, in the parent array. So for better understanding of this logic, you have to compulsorily trace the algorithm for an example like this. Consider the cost matrix and consider how the parent changes. Consider how the parent changes, right? And at some later stages of iterations, I mean somewhere when you come like this here, uh, like when you consider the value 2 or 4 or 5, so there you will really realize the parent array and how these parents are getting updated. Okay, right. So if u not equal to v, okay, that edge 2 to 3, so in this case current iteration 2 to 3, so u not equal to v, right? So 2 not equal to 3. Therefore, the minimum edge is 2 and 3 and its cost is this, that is 1. Okay, and the parent of v is equal to u. You can see how the parents are getting updated. So earlier the parent of 3 was 0 and now the parent of 3 becomes 2 because you are considering the edge 2 to 3. So B, C, 2, 3, 2 to 3. So that is why you can see the parent of 3 is nothing but, okay, and the number of edges plus plus. Now the number of edges plus plus, okay, because when you enter this if loop, then only you are considering this minimum edge as part of the spanning tree, okay, and that is why any plus plus is happening here inside, okay. Next, after printing that, what you are making, cost of AB is equal to cost of BI is equal to 99. I mean, cost from 2 to 3 is now made 99. Similarly, cost from 3 to 2. So 3 to 2 is 99. That is also made 99. Why? Because for the next iteration, we should not consider that edge. Okay. I mean, this condition should be false. Cost should be less than minimum. All right. So that is why these values are again rewritten as 99, so that the cost 2 to 3, 3 to 2 is not considered for the next iteration. All right. So that is how the logic continues. So take this example representative adjacency matrix of the given graph and solve it manually, and then solve it by applying the Kruskal's implementation. Then you will clearly understand, and this is the main logic behind the Kruskal's algorithm. So as part of the output, take the output for at least the two graphs. Draw the graph, draw its adjacency matrix, solve it manually by applying the Kruskal's algorithm, and then take the output. So now we shall take the output for this program. Enter the number of nodes. It is 6. As you can see in this example, it is 6. So enter the cost matrix. I will enter the cost matrix. Yeah, I had entered a wrong cost matrix. This is the correct cost matrix. So in this cost matrix, for this representative graph, you can see the first 2 to 3 and the cost is 1, right? 2 to 3 cost is 1. You can see 2 to 3 cost is 1. Next, 5 to 6 cost is 2. So EF 5 to 6 cost is 2. Next, 1 to 2 6 4 6, then the total cost is 15. So this is the entire output that you are supposed to note. Okay, so like this, take at least two outputs, and that's about the Kruskal's algorithm. Thank you.